Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another yoga class, gentle movement, a little bit of meditation, and some shenanigans every so often. Comedy show? No, not really. We're not doing comedy today. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Laughing always helps, especially in the center section. I work with one of my Taiko friends, and she's like, you should laugh more because that works your ab muscles and you need a stronger core. Because a few years ago, I had surgery on my core. Just a little background before we begin. And my core has never been the same since. It's like, it never really 100% recovers. So all you can do is just keep working at it, but it's not ever going to be the same. So I have to do a lot of core exercises, which is not my favorite thing to do. That means sit-ups and things of that nature. But it helps with balance, and it helps with doing certain lifting and stuff like that. So I try to do some of that. And it can be done sitting, and it can also be done just with certain breath. Doing things with breath, which she told me, because I was like, yes, that means I don't have to sit up. So believe it or not, I'm not, unless I'm kind of forced to be physically active, in a way, I've never been someone who goes to a gym or anything like that. I have to do things that don't feel like exercise, if that makes sense. And that's why I enjoy yoga, because it's communal and we do it together, and it feels a little bit less worky outy, if you will. So yeah, so that's a little bit of my story. So we'll work on some of that stuff today. A lot of the leg lifts like this that we do are really good for core as well. So we will we'll do some of that today too. Hope everybody's doing well and had a good week so far. It's almost the weekend. So yeah. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm just gonna shake out some of the energy that came with me, just so we can kind of start fresh. Maybe you can do the same. And just do some of that, and take a deep breath in and exhale. Namaste. And so let's just start with some nice deep breaths, just nice slow in and a slow exhale. So just take a deep breath in through your nose. Almost feel your head lift up, and exhale, you kind of sink back in. Back into your chair. So let yourself kind of lift up a little bit, straighten the spine a little bit more, and then exhale, you can kind of release and bring it back down. So inhale. Everything expands on the chest. Your shoulders go back slightly. You might even want to drop your arms to the side. And then exhale. When we exhale, we don't want to fold back in. We just want whatever armature we already have set up through the breath just to kind of sit. And we just kind of sit into that. So another deep breath in. And exhale. We'll do one more, and this time let your arms just drop to the side. Inhale. And exhale. Arms drop to the side. We kind of make sure we're in a nice safe space in our chair. Just before we begin, check around, make sure you have plenty of space for arms to go out, for legs to go out, all those things. You're not going to hit your head. If you do any bending forward, you're not going to hit your head on anything. It's very important. Not just for this class, but just generally when you do this. So tomorrow I'm traveling on a plane, which I haven't done in a while, and I'm a little anxious about it. So I was working on some things to be able to do on the plane, because you're in a seat like this, and in the airport, and so confined spaces can be a little tricky to do stuff, but it is possible. So we'll do some of that today, but I want to also, make sure we get a full body thing going as well. So just take a deep breath in, sit down again. We're just going to start rotating our wrists just to warm up and loosen up and start making the biscuits like kitty cats. And then also, like, we have opposable thumbs, which they don't, otherwise they'd rule the world. And so we want to make sure that we are using them as well, because when we rotate our wrists and fingers, our thumbs kind of get left out of the thing. It's very important. And also, as if you're playing the piano. And it's tough to do this backwards, but if you can, do that backwards. And then just do some free flow. And then just the wrists, get them going. And start with your feet as well. Just start pulsing your feet, like you're kind of like you're walking, but just with on your toes. We have opposable thumbs, but we don't really have opposable toes, I guess. That's never think about this thing until you need it. So just continue to, and then, so now we're going to do a little bit of both, right? All right, and then start working in the elbows and shoulders. Yeah. And maybe do some counting when we do this, so the motion is a little bit more fluid. I usually count in threes, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's almost like a waltz. And then just a little bit bigger. And some shoulder shrugs, just to loosen the neck and the head. Get everything moving all at once. Keeping our breath. I've gotten to a stage, I guess, in my life where I'm not really that concerned if people see me doing this and think I'm strange. That usually, if they think something like that, then, and as long as they don't turn me into security, that's okay. But it kind of keeps the real strange people at bay. They don't want to mess with you. But it's also a lot of other people practice yoga and they see that and they know what you're doing. And sometimes they come join. All right, and then just shoulder shrugs. And some twists. Another deep breath in. And exhale. So sometimes I get, especially before I travel, sometimes I get nervous energy and I find myself shaking a little bit, like my knee starts going or something like that. And when I find that, I find if I walk a little bit or, do the kind of just this motion, that goes away. And I try to picture myself in the scenario and everything's cool and calm. And yeah, so let's rub our hands together, get that magic flow. A deep breath in and exhale. Start thinking of maybe an intention you might have for the day or the week or the weekend. And maybe it's to start doing something. Maybe it's to stop doing something. Maybe it's to do nothing at all because you do too much. There's that too. There's always that place in between. Maybe it's to send notes out or to make a phone call, any of that stuff. That doesn't have to be anything extreme. It's the little tiny bits, the micro habits that we do that make the biggest difference. So I just like to rub my hands together like this, get my fingers. So I know I'm going to use them later in the day. And I do this just as a reminder, that whatever I'm touching, is coming from the inside. And it's just, you see animals do this sometimes where they do their paws on the ground and do that. So yeah, it's just nice. You can do it with your feet too. It's a little bit tougher, but just know that where we go and what we do has influence on others, not just ourselves. That's important, to be that sort of source of light there for them. And your fingers should feel a little tingle after that. And you can do this throughout the day too, if you need to kind of claim your space back. It looks like we're, coming up with some plans when we do things like this. Yeah. And that's good too, because it makes people go, oh, something's going on. So another deep breath in, shake it out. And exhale. All right. So we're just going to start lifting our arms up. We're going to start at the top and work our way down, and then we'll work our way back up. So just going to start with an arm lift going up and then to the side. Exhale as we go, and then return to the center. Doesn't matter which side you start with. All right. And we're going to go up on the opposite side. And go down. And then deep breath in. So we're going to inhale and then exhale as we do the asana. Here we go. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Going down. Inhale. Exhale. Up and down. And inhale. And exhale. Going around. All right. Now we're going to do the same with our legs. We're just going to lift up for a sec. And if you can, let me move this. Let's see better. Hopefully that'll work. I feel like a giant. All right. So it's the same sort of thing. We're just going to lift up and then out and then back in. If you can. If not, just up and down is fine. If you need to help yourself, totally okay too. Right? It's really more about flexibility than it is about using muscles and just opening up our joints a little bit. So if you need, even with your hands, if you need to help your hand up, totally okay. Nothing wrong with that. So take a deep breath in. We're going to lift and assist. You can also, don't grab your knee, just grab under it and then open and then bring it back. And same on this side. Open. Shouldn't be too serious of a motion. We just want to, since we're sitting, we just want to make sure we don't lock our hips too much. And switch sides when you do it. And go slow. And it's going to go up slightly and back in. And you can also hold on to the chair if that helps. Whatever works. And you might feel your hip muscles or the flexors here like pop a little bit. That's okay. As long as you're not in pain. That's the main thing. Right? And this should help. You might feel slightly different when you do this. Now, one thing that I find this really helpful for me, we're going to go back up top. We just want to get loosened up first, right? We don't want to get overheated either. So if you ever feel overheated, just stop, right? And just take some nice deep breaths and relax and sit and kind of just sit. Or if you feel off balance or anything like that, just stop. You can hold on to your chair, and that helps. So a nice deep breath in and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, if you haven't yet, on an inhale, put the intention that you might have thought of. You don't have to have one, but if you have one, put it like you're planting it in the ground when you breathe in, right? Because that's going to put it in our brains a little bit easier. All right, so take a deep breath in and exhale. Now, if you would put your hands together, like in a prayer position, right? And this is Press your, when we do this, we want to press the heels of our hands together and the tops of our fingers, right? And then instead of being here, we want to open up, right? Inhale and exhale, and then we're going to come back down, right? So inhale up, hold, and then exhale down. And this is like resistance, so you should feel these muscles getting a little bit of work, but not putting too much strain on your shoulders. Take an inhale in and exhale, and sit up a little bit taller when you do it. And then one more, inhale and exhale. Now this next time, what I'd like for you to do is do the same thing. We're going to inhale, and I'll demonstrate first. We're going to do the same thing, then we're going to go up. Turn your hands so they come out like this if you can, and come down. If I was standing, I would bring them to my back, right? So you can also do that if you want to come a little closer on your chair. And this will really open up the shoulders. You might hear a snap, crackle, and or pop. And you also might feel, honestly, a little lightheaded. I've done this before where my chest was kind of closed in like this, and I did it, and it was like, whoa. So just in case you do, just we're sitting, so you should be okay, but just be mindful. All right, so we're going to bring our hands together again. Deep breath in, push them together. We're going to go up, push them together all the way up. Open up your hands, right? So, yeah, and then come back to the side. Leading with your thumbs too, right? So it comes all the way, and if you can, take them to your back. And hold them back there for a sec, if you can. If you can't, no worries. They can be super loose. That's okay too. Take a deep breath in and relax. Woo! Yeah, right? Now you want to do this. We're going to do that one more time. All right, should be okay. We're going to bring them together. Inhale. Push, push up. Open. And then to the side. And then to your back if you can. If not, no worries. Inhale and exhale, release. Oh, because that really helps open up the chest. Right? So we're going to go back to doing some arm lifts now, because that might have helped loosen our shoulders up. So we're going to do both arms at the same time. All right, so we're going to inhale up and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. Now, each time you can start going a little bit farther down if you want, right? So if we want to end up here, if you can. If you can't, no big deal, right? Do as far as you can. So we're going to go up, inhale, exhale, come down, and fold over. If you can, no worries. And slowly come back up with your hands, right? We don't want to do this fast, right? Again, inhale up. Exhale, fold over from the hips, right? We don't want to be bent over from and then just down where we can. Keep your head up, right? We don't want our head going here because then we can, right? So keep your head up as best you can and come back up. Is that okay? Everybody okay with that? Okay. Whew. Take a deep breath, because this can get us a little lightheaded. We don't want to overdo it. All right, so just close your eyes for a sec. Take a deep breath in. Relax. All right, we're going to do something similar, except we're going to go to the side. We're not going to be able to bend all the way over, though. Right, but we're going to want to go over on the side or that side. Again, if you need, you can hold on to the side of your chair. All right, so inhale up. Exhale to your right and down. This is a spinal twist, and then release slowly and come back to the center. And go up again and to the left. Back to the center. And up and to the right, and back to the center, up, and to the left, and back to the center. Now you can, if you want, we can do another way, and that's going up, to the right, back up, and to the left, back up and down. Okay, we can do it slow. All right, so we can try that. It's almost like a rainbow if you think about it, kind of rainbowish. All right, so we can go inhale up, to the right, exhale, inhale up, and to the left, exhale, inhale up, and center and down. Okay, stop for 1 second. Let's just kind of reclaim our space and shake it out for a sec. Do some shoulder shrugs, forward and back. So now let's work on integrating both our feet, our legs, and our hands. So we're just going to sit back in our chair a little bit again. And inhale and exhale. Now, on our next inhale, we're going to bring both our feet and our arms up as high as we can. There are a couple ways you can do it. You can either kick out your foot or you can lift up your knee. You'll get different feelings out of each one, but whatever works for you. I actually prefer the lifting of the knee as opposed to the kicking out. That can put a lot of pressure on the outside of your hip, and it can be a little bit more painful. So we don't want to do that unless you want to, you can try it. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, lift up, and exhale down. And the other side, inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time each side, inhale. And slow movements up, slow movements down, up. There's no race to get there. All right. Now we're going to do opposites. We're going to do right with left and left with right. Okay, so we're going to go up. And sometimes it helps to like do something with your opposite hand so you know it's not that one. So we're going to lift up and down. Opposite side. Doesn't matter what side you start, just whatever the opposite is. Up and down and up. Just go slow, slow down. Everybody go slow. Okay. There we go. Like you're a dancer in a ballet. And down. One more time. Up and down. All right. Takes a little bit of effort doing those, even sitting, right? You do that in a chair. I mean, you can do that standing. It requires a fair bit of balance. So what I'd like to do is a version in which it kind of gives that sensation. So we're going to do the same thing. This time, pay attention to because it's very important, especially for if you ever were to do the standing, you can actually use the chair as a prop to hold yourself to do the same exact thing. But since we're going to be staying seated, what I want you to do is when we do this, like really plant your foot, the opposite foot that you're not raising, in the ground, right? So when you do this, don't have your opposite leg be all just like not doing anything. Engage it and have the heel press into the ground. All right. So if you're going up on your right side, your right foot is planted into the ground and this slips up. So we're going to try this one more time. Take a deep breath in, just relax for a sec. And exhale. And inhale. and exhale. This is going to take a little bit of effort. We just want to be ready. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so we're going to do opposites again, right? Again, this time, whatever side your arm is going up on, press into the ground with your with that leg. All right, here we go. Inhale up, exhale down. Opposite side. Exhale down. This takes some thinking, right? It's like, wait a second, yeah. And then we're gonna go up on this side and down. Opposites. One more time on each side. Last time. And all right, good job. Nice. Whew. Take a deep breath. Yeah, that's not easy. It seems like, oh, I'm in a chair, I'm going to do it. Yeah, until you do it. And it becomes a little bit trickier. All right. So we worked a little bit the upper body, some of the lower body. Let's work on our center a little bit. We're going to take a deep breath in and bring our arm up. Instead of going like this, we're going to do it like a knife edge. So it's going to be like this. And then we're going to come up and then go over like this. Kind of what we already did, but a little less. We're going to hold it for a sec. All right. But be careful of trying to hug yourself. We don't want to hug ourselves yet, although we're, we deserve it, but we're not there yet. All right. So we just want to go up and just a little bit to the outside. You can also put this on the outside of your knee, but I like to grab the chair and we're just going to spinal twist. If it helps, you can move your hand behind you. We want to sit up as straight as we can when we do this because we want to work this center section. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and see if you can go just a little bit deeper. Inhale one more time, and exhale and release, and come slowly back to the center. Right? We're just going to let the arm drag across and drop down to the other side. Now we're going to do the same thing, just this side. Right? Inhale up. Exhale, let it come over and drop down. At the same time, turn your head so your gaze is like 90 degrees if you can, whatever you can. Just try not to look too straight because that can strain your neck. All right, go with it. Inhale and exhale. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Sit up straighter. Inhale and release. Slowly come out. We don't want to do any of these things too fast because that's when, if we release too fast, our body's not necessarily ready for that. So let's start one more time, super slow. All right, inhale up, cross, inhale one more time. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Exhale. One more inhale. And release. Very good. We'll try the opposite side. So we're going to inhale up. Exhale across. Another inhale. Exhale, so you can go a little bit deeper. And inhale one more time. And exhale, release. So we're just back at the center. Right? And when we release, everything comes at the same time. Right? So we try not to do a release, come here and then here. We just want to release and come across at the same time. It helps with balance and coordination when we do things together, kind of like having our, if our body can agree to move at the same time, it really helps for certain things, not always. All right. So now I'm just going to walk a little bit again, just to kind of cool down, but keep moving. Let my arms hang at the side for a sec. Been doing a lot of work today. But this will keep the center section the core kind of going if we can do this, right? If you want, you can do shoulder shrugs if that feels good. Move your head a little bit like this. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale, just nice and slow. Inhale. Exhale, maybe start moving a little bit slower. We have nowhere to be right now, just exactly where we're at. Inhale. And exhale. All right. So now we want to work on our neck slightly. So I'm just gonna help my neck. I'm not moving it. I'm just supporting it. I'm gonna turn my head right to the left, just over to the shoulder. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Try to lower your shoulders, get your shoulders away from your ears. You can hold on to the side of your chair if it helps. Deep breath in, see if you can go a little bit deeper. And you can do a yes, kind of an up and down motion if that helps. And then inhale, release, and we're going to go to the center and to the opposite side. I know I started this time on my left. It's totally okay. If you start on your right, that's okay. We're just going the opposite side. Inhale in and exhale. And you might feel yourself wanting to turn a little bit more, and that's good. Inhale in and exhale. And one more time. And exhale to the center. Now, part of this practice that we do today is restorative. Yesterday might have been a busy day, or maybe later today might be busy for you. And these movements that we do should help support and relieve some of the strain and stress that maybe we had earlier. That's why we do things super slow, to make sure that we're not overexerting too much, and that we're supporting our joints and getting oxygen to where it's kind of lacking. Because when we do a lot of exerting, whether it doesn't matter what we do, but if we're exerting, we're kind of a lot of times holding energy and holding the breath or prana in our lungs, and it's not able to get to where it needs to go. So this helps. So let's just take a quick little break and appreciate what we've done so far today. It's okay. I try to during any class that I take or practice or lead, I try to remember to acknowledge myself and ourselves, just the work that we've done and just the showing up. It's important to acknowledge that. Just the showing up is important. If you've ever been somewhere and you're like, I'm not sure if I should go or not go, and you end up going, and then you see everyone and they're like, oh my gosh, thanks for coming. It's exactly what it is. A lot of those no's, if we can say yes a little bit more to certain things, of course, without exhausting ourselves, other people appreciate it when we show up. And so, yeah, when we can, sometimes we have to say no, and that's okay too. No is important. We don't want to overdo it. And finding that balance, right, of yeses and nos. So, and what works. All right. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a second, shake out my body. We've done a lot of work so far. And we don't want to overdo it. We don't want to overheat, but we don't want to stop moving either. So feel free to do some like free movement in your chair. If your spine feels like it needs to twist, or shoulders need something, just show them what it needs. Maybe it's your legs, right? Show them some support. Just deep breaths in. Could be your earlobes, believe it or not. Casey with the headphones on, it might, our ears get very little attention. And same thing with our eyes. So it's always good to acknowledge those, just like when we do magic fingers, right? It's important to acknowledge and get blood flow to our ears. especially if you're wearing headphones or you put earbuds in, they can be irritating. And I used to work in radio long ago, and I never understood why I had headaches. And it was, oh yeah, I got this vice on my head listening to stuff. So if you find yourself, or ear pods or any of that stuff, remember to, like, earlobe love is always good. And just all I do is I pinch, because that acknowledges and should get a little bit red, not in a painful way, but I pinch because it helps bring some blood flow there. All right. So we're going to start slowing down. We have about 20 minutes left, but we want to start slowing down. We're not going to do Savasana yet, but we do want to start slowing down. We're going to do one more thing before we move on to that. And I want you to come up a little bit on your chair. We're going to try something new today. And I want you to be very mindful of where your head is, to not let it drop. Because if your head drops, it's going to lead you down that direction. So we want to keep our head up, our chin up, right, when we do this. Almost out. Because what we're going to do is we're going to spin a little bit like this. Not fast. Keep our chin up, right? We want to get outside of the plane of our body, right? And do these motions. You can also press against your leg, if that helps. All right, this is just to get the digestive system, liver, all that stuff that's in here. This is how we exercise it. Through our breathing, using our diaphragm and squeezing helps, but we don't want to do that right now, right? We just want to breathe normal, or maybe a little bit deeper breaths, but come forward, chin up, please, eyes forward. Right. Find something on a wall to pay attention to, and we're just going to go around like this, right? So what I want to make sure that we're not doing is kind of coming over like this and doing this, right? This is like stirring a pot, but that will get super dizzy. So just chin up and out, back straight. And then as we turn, it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen a movie called The Matrix, where he's dodging bullets. And he does all these crazy moves. It's the same sort of thing, right? But we want to keep our head up as we do this. And it helps our neck a little bit too. And we'll just go in one direction, then switch opposite directions, right? And try not to go too forward, right? We want to just kind of be at a ready stance angle, and then go in the opposite direction. Breathe while we do this. Inhale in and exhale. And really press on the exhale to get all of that extra air out. Right? And yeah. And try to keep our necks straight, almost with our spine, like this. And we're just kind of, we got to, like we're skewered, right? And we got to stick. And we want to make sure that we're not leaning too much. Either way, and we're going to switch one more time. Remember to stay inhale and exhale. Reverse. We're going to come back to the center. All right. I don't know if you guys ever use, and I meant to mention this earlier, if you ever use essential oils during a practice or anything like that, it's totally okay. I just, because I do sometimes, I like peppermint because it's very uplifting, but you have to be very careful because it can burn if you're not careful. But if you have like a diffuser or something in your room, when we're taking in these deep breaths, you have to be extremely mindful that we're not, because it can end up being somewhat toxic and give us a headache. Not toxic in the poisoning way, but more toxic in the too much sort of stuff. So if you have a diffuser or anything going on in the background, just be mindful of that. Or if you put anything on your hands beforehand, some people like to do that, rub it together and breathe in. That's totally okay, but just be gentle when you do it. Just a gentle reminder. And if you have some peppermint or lavender or any of these oils, we did an article a few months ago about using essential oils and like some safety things. And and things like that. But a lot of people like to incorporate that into a yoga practice, which is totally cool. It's just we have to be, and this is also if you ever go to a place and they have incense burning or diffusers going or something like that, and you don't feel, I'll just say safe. If you feel like it's overwhelming, just let them know. And same thing with perfumes and things like that. Just be mindful, because that can, our sense of smell can be one of those things. And I think of this only because we're going into an airport tomorrow. Thank goodness we'll be wearing a mask, so that kind of alleviates it. But just be mindful that, and I do encourage using essential oils, but just being mindful with the use. Because I think one time, Casey, you had a diffuser maybe going in the background, and that's what kind of triggered my thought. Because especially with deep breaths, because you can bring a lot of that in, and it can be tricky. Sorry for the side note. We'll bring it back later at a different time. I just wanted to bring that up real quick. All right, so let's start shaking ourselves out and sitting back in our chair. Breath in and exhale. I'm going to do a little bit of an eye exercise. And what we're going to do is our eyes should be centered. It's tough to do with my eyes open, otherwise I would. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some eye exercises. And these are super slow and very intense and intentional. Not intense, but intentional. So we're going to have our eyes lift up and then to the left and then down and to the right and to the center. We're going to do the same thing. Right? Deep breath in and exhale. Eyes up to the left, down to the right, up and center. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale. Eyes up to the left, down to the right, and center. Now we're going to do the same thing, just in the opposite direction. So deep inhale. Exhale. Eyes up to the right, down to the left, up, center. Feel yourself starting to relax. All right. Another deep inhale and exhale. Eyes up to the right, down to the left, and center. One more time. Inhale in. Exhale. Eyes up to the right, down to the left, center. Okay. We can keep our eyes closed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go not as intentional. We're going to do more rounding as opposed to kind of like squares. That was more like a diamond. Now we're going to do a little bit more just rounding. You might feel your head wanting to join. Do it super slow. We don't want to get nauseous or anything like that. Just take a deep breath in. Just do one trip around. And then the opposite direction. Nice deep inhale and exhale. One last time. Just a quick around and then back. Very good. Now, just couple final things. We're going to lift our eyes straight up and down and up and down and up and down. Right, very good. Now we're going to switch. Take a deep breath in, down and up, down and up, and down and up. Finally, we're going to do side to side. All right. Inhale in, exhale, to the right and left, to the right and left, to the right and left. Relax for a sec. Deep inhale. Exhale. Just the opposite. to the left and right, to the left and right, to the left and right, and back to center. Now we're just going to keep our eyes closed and just start to relax. All right, you can let your feet kind of go forward. Sit. You don't have to sit straight up, just kind of like you're chilling, not doing much, just relaxing, watching something. Keep your eyes closed, deep breath in. Let your arms go to your side. Let your body kind of do what it does. Just make sure you're mindful of your space and that you're not going to fall out of your chair. And inhale and exhale. What we want to start doing is just kind of sinking into our body, letting things kind of flow downward into our feet and hands so they get heavy. And exhale. Not tingly, we don't want tingly, we just want heavy. Right. Inhale and exhale. You can do any sort of like final movements you feel like might help you. Nothing too strenuous, right? But if you want to pump your legs again, if you need to move your arms or do shoulder shrugs, just do it super gently, right? Just super small. Inhale and exhale. And remember the intention maybe we said earlier. Just kind of bring that back. So on the next inhale, it can kind of get placed back in. And if you need to sink in your chair a little bit more, that's fine. You just don't want to strain your back. And you don't want it to be so your back is strained. You want to support your back. So when you wake up, it's not going to be. Inhale. And exhale. And exhale. So a lot of times after we do a workout, gentle or restorative, it's important to rest for 15 or 20 minutes, that we're not doing something and just keep going, which is sometimes easy to do because we get energized, but it's important to make sure that we get the rest that we need, and water and nourishment in different ways, not just physical, but mental, spiritual, all the things. It's also important that we give as well. So take a deep breath in and exhale. And start to relax your body a little bit more. Inhale in and exhale. Inhale in. Exhale. I'm just going to let you kind of set your breathing pace now. We have kind of a tempo of what it is. We're going to be here for a few minutes, so it's okay. And just let your mind wander. It's totally okay. So super free space. We're going to start coming back in Just a moment. Just want to get you ready. Take it easy. Maybe take a little bit deeper inhale this time, almost like we're waking up. Start to move your eyes, your neck, hands a little bit. Inhale in. Remember your intention from earlier. Just start to move your body again. Move your legs, your toes, just like we started today. Just very gently. And start coming back into your body. And know that this is something that you can do even for the few minutes that we've done it. It feels like a lot longer. And we could go a lot longer. But I think that coming back, especially for chair yoga, is important. So we don't actually fall asleep. It would be somewhat easy to do. So I just start pumping my legs in a way that, like, just, I don't move my feet. I just start flexing my calves and thighs and all that. Just to sort of wake up, just like we would stretch in the morning. Start my wrists. Nice deep inhale. My eyes are still closed. Right, I'm going to start moving. I'm getting ready to wake up. Move my neck. Shoulders. Just going to get back in my body and sit up. Just super slow. Nothing's fast right now. This is super slow. We're waking up. That's the beauty of this. You get like little light, small nappy in the middle of the day. But we want to feel refreshed. We don't want to feel tired after this. Let's take some more deep breaths. And when you're ready, start like blinking your eyes to let them open. You might feel a little tear, it's totally okay. Just start blinking your eyes open. You can do a spinal twist or two. That helps. It's okay. Yeah. That's normal. Have a little wake up. That's normal. That's good actually, to get some of the things in us out. Right. So maybe just do some of the things we did earlier. Nothing too fancy. Nothing too serious. Take a deep breath in. Remember your intention one more time. I'll put my hands in prayer. Just for a sec, close my eyes, think of the intention. Press my fingers together as if. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. I appreciate you coming today. If you come down and say hi. If you want to have the class that we do, I don't know if you're familiar with their YouTube channel, but this will be up there in a week or two. There's some older classes there if you find anything in particular in there, and feel free to share these with your friends and family members, because it might be helpful to them if they have time. It can benefit all kinds of different for all kinds of different sort of things going on in people's life, especially if someone's like overactive or underactive. It helps get them moving. It's really important. In fact, I don't know if you received the MS Focus magazine, but in the next edition for the spring, the article is I'm writing an article about gentle movement and the importance of it. Even slight things during the day that we can do just to keep in motion, that keep things moving. But especially if we find ourselves sitting a lot, in couches or in office chairs or in cars or in scooters or whatever it might be, having these intentional moments of movement. It's different. It's easy to kind of do this and, what have you when we need it, but it's the intentionality of it that really helps our body, and the breathing part that really helps. So there'll be an article in the spring of 22 magazine. We do have a lot of YouTube videos up for with Michelle Matthews. She'll be doing a class on Monday at 10:45. Same sort of gentle movement and yoga. And we also have a bunch of Zoom conferences going on this month for Black History Month, and some really cool ones for March Awareness, which is about 2 weeks away, or last week and a half. So please make sure you join us for those as well, because it's we do these all for you guys, to make sure that you have, and your care partners and families and friends and things like that, who need to maybe get some education on what MS is, what it's about, because not everyone necessarily has the same understanding as you do, and yours is everyone with MS. It's individual. So what one person's going through may be similar to what you're going through, but not necessarily the same. So we do these conferences to help kind of bring folks together, and we hope you can join us for those in the future, and just sign up for them. Casey, is there a way to would people in this group be able to sign up for those pretty easy, and where could they find those?
The easiest thing to do is just reply to your registration email for the yoga class with what you would be interested in, and I can send you a link, or I can tell you where to sign up for our newsletter that shares all of this information, all the upcoming teleconferences, all the upcoming health and wellness classes. There's a weekly newsletter that goes out so you never miss a thing.
Yeah, and also, we have Facebook group, Instagram, and all those good things too, where people share tips and tricks and what have yous. And yeah, so thank you guys for coming. I just wanted to share that with you in case you weren't aware. You might know more about what's going on than I do, and I work at the foundation. So this is a big community, and we just want to share information with each other. That's good and positive, and exciting, because there's some new exciting stuff coming as well. So thank you guys so much for coming today, and I look forward to seeing you. I'll be in Vermont next week, so I'll have a snowy background, and I'll probably be in a big giant coat and sweater. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week, and thank you guys for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi guys. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.